Hello internets, Jesus loves you. My name's Cody and this is the Christian News Show we do on Tuesdays and Thursdays with geeksundergrace.com. Just a heads up, I do plan on having a show on Thursday, but I don't have awesome teeth, and so I planned on going to the dentist like next week sometime. But it turns out the way that my insurance works, I can get like so much money if I do it in this week opposed to next week, and then I can go next week and my like insurance stuff kind of starts over. So they want to fill as many cavities as they can tomorrow. I don't know how many I have, but I know it's like a lot, and so I don't know if I'll be able to talk on Thursday. But I'm gonna do the best I can. Let's get into the news. And our first story of the day has to do with Tim Tebow, but nothing to do with football. So good guy Tim Tebow, he's sitting on an airplane when a medical emergency occurs. This man was having some chest problems. Some reports say that he passed out. It later turned out that it was a heart attack. And I should say there is nothing about this man's condition in the news right now. And so quite a few people rushed to go help this guy, including Tim Tebow. The people who knew what they were doing as far as medical stuff goes actually helped the guy himself. And Tim Tebow, who probably doesn't know a lot about being a doctor, did what he does know. He sat with the family and he prayed. And so he started praying, the family started praying, the people around him started praying as well. And so obviously good on Tim Tebow, but something that keeps popping up in my mind is I wonder how long it was for some of these people to be praying. Maybe it was weeks, months, maybe they hadn't prayed in years. I just think that more than likely this was a life-changing experience for some of these people, and that's really cool to think about. And I know some atheists out there are like, all you Christians do is pray, why don't you actually do something about the problem? Tim Tebow had a car waiting to pick him up. He actually gave that ride away to the family so they could get this person to the hospital as fast as possible. So I really hope this man's okay. There has been nothing in the news about his condition at all, but good on Tim Tebow. That's really cool to hear. Then going on, we need to talk about our next story, which is something that I don't want to talk about, but I feel like I need to. There's this woman named Christie Sheets, and last Friday, she brought her family in for a family meeting where an argument escalated and she shot Madison, 17, and Taylor, 22. These two children being her daughters. Now, the police are saying that it's obviously the result of a mental breakdown. Looking at her Facebook profile, it's nothing but prayer requests and Bible verses, and she was very obviously considered herself a Christian. But as I read this, I thought about my words from last week. And last week I had this whole piece where I said, you know, we can't say the Westboro Baptist Church or Joel Osteen, they're not with us. We have to own up to them too. Because whether we like it or not, they consider themselves to be Christians, and so does the rest of the world. And so reading this article, the first thing that comes into my mind is she mustn't be much of a Christian. And so I had to think about how hypocritical I was being. And so I like the way C.S. Lewis put it. I'm not going to look it up completely because I think it's a really long quote, but basically, we need to stop saying that people aren't Christians. So when we look at someone and they say that they are a Christian, we don't know whether they are a Christian or not. We just don't. We do know whether or not they are a good or bad Christian. And so sadly here with Christie Sheets, we have an example of a bad Christian. And I think the question that arises is, well, then how do we fix that? And I think the answer to that is something that we've always thought, and that is that Christians should not be the example of what Christians should look like. I've literally pleaded with a few atheists to not look at Christians as an example of what Christianity should be, and instead look at Jesus. I mean, me, as hard as I try, I am a terrible example of a Christian. The only perfect example I can think of is Jesus. And from that, we go to the final story of the day, and I'm sorry that the majority of the show has been all serious. You probably already heard already, but there was a law that was going to be passing in Texas that just didn't. It wasn't necessarily a pro-life law, but it was a law that would have shut down many of the clinics because they would have been putting more enforced regulations on things. And so the Supreme Court shot down this law. And that's very unfortunate. I think a lot of you guys know kind of where I stand on things. You know, abortion clinics definitely should not be businesses. And I think it was actually the last time we talked about this, I brought up this report that said you really didn't have anything to do with the laws, it has to do with morality. Basically, that abortions are going to happen whether they are legal or not. The reason that I bring this up is a post that I saw that whether you're pro-life or pro-choice should just make you sick. And that tweet was, go celebrate the SCOTUS ruling, go knock someone up in Texas. And that should scare people. That's where we are in the United States right now. And it doesn't really matter where you stand on abortion. Even if you are pro-choice, the woman has a right to choose. There should still be a value for life. And regardless of how you feel, abortion shouldn't be a joke. So I said this last time, but I don't think that abortion debate has anything to do with the laws. It doesn't matter if it's legal or if it's illegal, it's gonna happen either way. In fact, if you make it illegal, it happens in a much more disgusting way. I think a conversation needs to go back to its root. Is it right? Is it wrong? What is the value of life? Because apparently we've lost that, and it's posts like this that prove it. So I want the question of the day to be kind of uplifting. So we're gonna go back. What is the coolest thing that you have seen a Christian do? I'm thinking like Tim Tebow, praying for that family. That would be really cool to experience. What's something that you've seen someone else do? I want to know. So please leave a comment in the comment section down below with your answer. Be a little bit uplifting today. As always, make sure you check out geeksundergrace.com for more geeky content. My name is Cody Armour, bringing Christian news in a not so boring kind of way, hopefully, every Tuesday and Thursday. In closing, let the haters hate, let the Christians pray, and to everybody like, subscribe. I will see you later, and God bless.